Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday we have just started Unit 3, which is the physical safety. I mean, so what are the different unsafe conditions and how you can get rid of injury. So ultimately, we are taking all the things for not getting injured or to maintain a good workplace, because we are working in every places. So that means that some employees working in their factory, or we are also going in our college. So everyone having maintain safety rules and regulations. So just remind yesterday classes, what are these five elements of the safety? Who can say? There are five elements of the safety. Is my screen is visible to all of you? It is visible. Okay. So what are the five elements of the safety? This is the important questions. These are the five elements. Elimination, then substitutions, then engineering controls, implement administrative controls, and lastly personal protective equipment. We already discussed these things, so just reminding you, in order to get proper safely working in your workplace, first avoid these unsafe conditions, avoid to go that place where there is no safety is there. That is called eliminations. Just ignore that. Then substitutions, if you do not ignore that places and you have to work in that places, so use a different good product or good one, that is substitute of these unsafe conditions. Then third is engineering control. Even if you do not getting any substitutes, use different tools and techniques for this uh, engineering controls, that is called engineering control, that will expense persons or some other tools. And if it is also not available, then we are implementing administrative controls. That means we are implementing raw law, rules, regulation, etc., in order to how to get this, handle this equipment, if having giving some training, skill persons, experienced persons, all these things. And lastly, personal protective equipment. These are the different devices we are using for our working place in order to save for ourselves. So these are all we have discussed yesterday. Then also we already discussed the physical safety. What is physical safety? This means do not just not get injured by physically. So just see, these are the different working places we are working here. So today we will going to discuss about this, more about this physical safety and all these things. So just start. Let's start these things. That is hazard communications or HCOM. This is one protocol or one systematic things we can uses in our laboratory or in our system working area. That is, this is HASCOM is designed to inform employee of the hazards or chemicals to workplaces using globally harmonized systems. That means if some employee is working in a particular factory or particular working places, then what happen, the employee which is not aware about these things. So firstly, the organization duty is to aware all these Workplace, regarding all workplace, which is safe, which is unsafe, how to work in to this new employee. So this is called HCOM, means to identify and to give training and give some different knowledgeable or awareness to the employee through globally harmonizing systems. Globally harmonizing system, GSS, that means all centralized, or the workplaces should be aware by the all people, not only the managers and the workers. Through all people who are entering to the workplace or that place, all should be know all the things. Which chemical, for example, here see there are lots of chemical are stuck in the rack. So if you are not know which chemical is which place has kept, for best example in a medical shop or medicine shops, the shopkeeper which does not have any idea which medicine is kept where, then it is take so much time and also having some mistakes and have a great hazard if someone is giving wrong medicine to the patients. So properly identifications and knowledge is very much necessary for identification of chemicals in order to avoid that hazards, mostly for the chemicals obtained. First is make list in order to the HCOM is a actually procedure how to save all these chemicals or these workplaces from these hazards. So first is make a list of the hazardous chemicals present in one place. Identify which is safe chemical, which is unsafe chemical. For example, the H2SO4 concentrated hydrochloric acid, it looks like a water but it is very dangerous. So just identify where what are the different hazardous chemicals present. Then obtain SDS is chemical. SDS means safety data sheet. SDS full from is safety data sheet. If the chemical is hazardous, then just know every chemicals along with the procurement or along with when you are going to buy that chemicals, or in the bottle of chemicals, in the chemicals in the laboratory you have seen there are different instructions given. What happened if it is touched with your hand, what happened it is sellowed, what happened if there is contact with other things. So everything are whether it is poisonous or whether it is dangerous, everything are written in a different sheets, different types of papers along with the provided chemical, that is called safety data sheets. Let's see what is this. So develop a written chemical hazard communication program that locates known as employee. So for every employee you have to make some rules, regulations, all these things in a written form. And lastly, train the employee, means the people who are new to that all are should have give proper training to working in the workplaces. So without knowledge they may have having some hazardous position may occur. So we have the organizations have to give training to the employee for working in the place in order to avoid these accidents. Then train employee, how to train to detect the presence or release of hazardous chemicals. Which are these things we have to train when the chemicals will release, how it can be detected. For example, LPG cylinder, in every home there is a LPG cylinder you use for our cooking purposes. But as LPG cylinder is very highly flammable gases, if there is some leak is there, then maybe a great hazard takes place, maybe a blast or something, a fire caught in that places. So but that is we are using every in house. So what our duty is to know how to presence or leakage of this LPG cylinder, if it is leakage having. So there are some smell is there, so detect all the things. So the proper training should be given to the employee for the safety reason. Then physical and health hazards of chemicals in contact, inhalation, absorptions. So what happened if there is a contact of the chemicals to the persons, or maybe it inhale and maybe some absorption through all the persons things. So what happened, all these things should be given training to the employee, what you do if the chemical is touched by someone or something. Then how to protect against this hazard by PPE and ventilations. For example, if your chemical is kept in a closed room, and closed room the fumes are released. If it is ventilated, properly ventilated, then the vapors or fumes may be easily diluted in outer atmosphere. And for handling the PPE, handling the chemicals, you should wear gloves, helmet, goggles. So all PPE, ventilations and other information as your safety data sheets, all these things, labels, how to check, how to use, how to handle, all are will be given proper training to the employee. Then uh, health effect of chemicals. If knowingly or unknowingly someone is having some contact with this chemical, then what happened, all the things also uh, having training to the employee. So many chemicals can hurt your body. Some chemicals that can harm very little, but some chemicals they can harm you more. So depending on the severity of the chemicals, hazardous chemicals, the reactions may occur in your body. So many chemicals may have action level, permissible exposure limit, medical surveillance. In unit 2, we already discussed about the LC50, LD50, or this is called permissible exposure limit, PEL. So what is that? We do not get suddenly ill or having injured with these chemicals, but when the chemicals are taken or exposed with a particular limit, then it becomes a poison. So all the things has know what is the permissible limit up to which we are not going to injure. So all these things should be known. And if it is contact with your body, then what happened, what is the next things, how to handle these things, this also you have to know. Then medical surveillance. For example, last class we have studied the first aid kit, how to use that first aid kit, and how having called to the ambulance and for the doctors, all the things should be given employee. If you are an employee of the organizations, the training should be given to this. Then safety data sheets, these are already discussed. That is the, see, this safety data sheet look like this. So there are certain symbols are there, and every symbol and certain written information is there. So this is called safety data sheets. How, what happened, what is the dangerous, whether it is water contact or not, water soluble or not, whether it is flammable or not, all the things are written in this spreadsheet, or that is a safety data sheets. So these safety data sheets is given by the vendor or the supplier of these chemicals. It is a mandatory. You will, if some chemicals is you have received without these safety data sheets, then you have, do not keep this chemical in your laboratory. Just read all these safety data sheets and label these things in the rack. That is called standardized global harmonium rules. Make some rules how to handle these chemicals. That is a universal rule, means the safety data sheets, it is written already. See, in safety data sheets, this type of some pictures are given. By knowing these pictures, you have to know what is this kind of chemical it is. First picture is, it is exploding a bomb, that is explosion kind of thing. Second is, it is flammable. Third is a gas cylinder. Fourth, skull and crossbone, that is a danger signal. Then fifth is the type of corrosion. Then health hazard. Then exclamation marks, that means it is not known, maybe questions for all these things. Then flammable. So all the things are the mentioned in the safety data sheets. This is one other examples. If you are see properly some containers of your chemicals in laboratory, then this type of symbols and this type of things are found in these chemicals bottles, backside of these chemical bottles. This is called safety data sheets. Then workplace secondary level examples. So if we are obey laws, rules, regulations, and also avoid all kinds of accidents, then also what's happen, we have to maintaining some kinds of labels and some kinds of warning signals in our workplace. That is some identifiers or pictograms. For example, this is the acetone. If you have seen this acetone bottle, or if you are having transfer big bottle to small bottle, then just write acetone and make this kind of symbol for your purposes. Identifier, and these are called identifier or pictograms, just pictures. Or you can see both, but it is by written form as well as picture form. You can just note down and paste on this chemicals bottle in front of this bottle. Then health effect of chemicals. So there are many health effects after a chemical is get absorbed by your body. Then that is chipping, grinding, sewing, welding. These are the different kinds of chemicals, or the different kinds of waste products generated by different companies or different industries. So all working persons, they are handling these chemicals, having different health effect of these things. So this is the have you seen in your laboratory formalin, or some you have to preserve some biological things, that is also very dangerous. So this is called mystery juice. Mystery juice means some bottle without any labels. If the chemical is kept, it is very much hazardous and very dangerous chemicals. So see this in these pictures, we do not know the kind of fluid or liquid is a green or type of fluid. It may be a chemicals, maybe a liquid, or maybe anything. So if you do not know these things, do not label these things, you cannot use even in some places and cannot handle. So it is very dangerous task. So always be label your chemicals if you are transferring to other thing, other container. So here also see there are different types of racks containing of different chemicals. So there are no labeling is there. So you have to label all these things. Then ideal storage and setup. For mostly these type of safety rules and safety standards are set up in laboratories where you are normally use different chemicals. So in these types of alkali chemicals, acid chemical, bases chemicals, so all chemicals are used in a rack is separate places and a separate tag. Just write acids in between acids in text. Just place all the acids kind of things. Just take the chemical bases, then put all the bases type of chemicals. So if you are having contact with some chemicals, then what happens? Firstly, you wash your eyes. Then safety shower. Where is the safety shower? Means where the water is available to washing the eye, ear, or hand. Emergency phone number is also kept in the, from in near to this uh, rack, and fire extinguisher. These are the different information should be kept where the chemicals are stored. See, these are the chemicals are enter into your body the far way. So, which we already discussed in our unit 2, how these poisons or toxins enters. First is breathing, that is called inhalation. If you are smell some gaseous toxic substance, and it can enter to your body through smell or through inhalations or breathing. Secondly, skin contact. If the chemicals or poison that is pour into your skin or come contact the skin, if you are not handling without any gloves, then it's very dangerous. The skin can get burned. Then swallowing by eating or through food. If your food is contaminated somehow, you can swallow through your mouth. That also chemicals is entering your body. And lastly, injections. Injections in workplaces, do not get think that someone is going to inject you. But whenever there is a nails or some there is a cut places or some there is a things where chemicals is very much harmful, if that is enters into the body through cut or cut marks or mixed with the bloods. So this is the different four paths to entering these chemicals to react on your body. If eyes is also very precious part of your body, because eye is very sensitive, and even a small drop of chemicals is fall in your eye, then you also can eye get damaged. So every times you use goggles and helmets while you are using some chemicals or in your working in different some working places. So helmet and goggles is very much necessary. So your eyes can be so seriously injured by this chemical. So use these things. Chemicals may be splashed into your eye. Chemical vapors can also enters into your eye, and the chemicals overheads chemical deep into the eyes. If the very because eye is the very sensitive organ. So fast reactions can be occurred through eye. So if your some chemicals is falls in eye, then just first do the work is the wash your eyes with this water. So this is the first task. Then sanitary, that means use your hands, wash your hands, all these things, or documented everything activations. That means whatever may be, you just note down everywhere what is the done or what may be the actions of your chemicals. Then most important part is protecting yourselves. Always wear apron, gloves, goggles, or that is helmets, all the things that is called personal protective equipment. This is the most safer way, better than protect than cure. If you are protect yourself before handling these chemicals or these hazardous conditions, that is better than all other methods. So always wash your hand thoroughly after using chemicals. If you are using, even if you are using gloves, that is recommended, but after using it, you wash your eye with hand wash before eating food or something, taking things, or locate nearest eye wash stations where is water basin. You should locate these things. work your supervisor properly dispose the hazardous materials. If the materials is there, if you seen some chemicals is placed here and there, so report to your supervisors or your mentor to dispose this chemical that no one other can harm. Know your spill procedures and emergency response plans. If some chemicals or some hazardous conditions occurs, then what you have to do, just fast forward, move to the first aid kit box, then make a call to the ambulance or to the hospitals or the response emergency response plans. You have to know if you are working in different type of situations. Then these are some chemicals that are very dangerous. These are mostly in factories or some industrial things. That is asbestos exposures. Asbestos is a very fine chemicals or fine materials that can be inhaled into your body, and it is cause various type of serious effect in your body. Where you can find asbestos, the roof, ceilings, all the things, brake shoes, these are the made up of asbestos. And then different terms are there, like asbestos containing material, perfume, presume asbestos containing material. So some materials are containing asbestos, so just avoid this kind of materials. Normally we are using paint in our house, that also containing some lead or asbestos. So the peculiar smell of this paint, this is very much dangerous, so avoid to smell any paint. Then excess use of asbestos, they also having just keep this one. You see the rooftop is made up of asbestos. So because asbestos is discussed, because it is very much dangerous. If you are working with asbestos plant or asbestos company, or if you are exposed to asbestos things, then it is very much dangerous for people. Then light maintenance work, coastal or light maintenance work, because some things are there you have to know, that is housekeeping and building maintenance activity may exposure worker is asbestos. If we are daily we are having housekeeping activities, sweeping, vacuuming, cleaning, then fine asbestos that can be entered to your body. Vinyl asbestos title, all these ceilings where you can get these things, these are the things. So just keep it this one. So these are the some asbestos containing material, that is just keep this one. And these are the diseases related to asbestos: asthma, asbestosis, lung cancers, other cancers. These are the most hazardous chemicals in the body that can be entered into the body through inhalations. Then a good faith inspection survey, this is a very important part. Require all constructions and maintenance buildings that contains asbestos should be uh, maintained carefully. Just keep this one. For the second is some chemicals like formaldehyde. Formaldehyde also commonly used in laboratory or some biological activities. So formaldehyde also very dangerous chemicals. That is called as formalin. If it is inhaled, so exposure through inhalations, maybe eye, respiratory systems, all can causes various long-term effects like cancers. That is slowly you cannot know whether it is harming or not. But in long term, if you are working with these chemicals, then cancers like maybe happens to the persons. Employee must advise emergency showers, immediate area if contact is there. Then eye wash is there. Use personal protective equipment. This is the common things. Additional requirement. What are the things you have to give the employer to the employee? Must housekeeping program and detect leak and spill. Whether chemical is leakage is there. That is also check maintenance, regular maintenance in these things. Training should be given at the time of initial assignment of the working in the area. If someone is coming to new and they have to assign that area for their working places, then every employee should be given training. Whatever the new exposure to formaldehyde, all this area also given training. How are the risks, what is the things, at least 12 months after the initial training. So you have to give having some experience, after then you have to handle these things clearly. Then next chemical is lead. Lead, that is very hazardous chemical like asbestos, like this formalin or formaldehyde. Lead is also slowly kills people. If you are working in some paint industry, some lead factories, battery factory or battery industry. So these are very much exposures to this lead, which is also causes muscle pain, birth defect, kidney damages, permanently brain damages, nervous system damages. So these are the different kinds of of injuries or different kinds if you do not get any proper safety to while working with the lead things. So there is no real safe amount of lead, but levels that cannot be legally exceeds. That is called permissible limit. So permissible exposure limits means some amount by amount which is you should not exceed. But there is a no safe limit. If even if you a small amount of lead can be exposure taken, then there can be harm to your body. So the exposure limits is called PEL, maximum possible limits you can think. So the lead directly attack to your blood vessels, and blood things can be affected by the leads. Then how where you can lead contaminated, you can lead contaminated through different spray, paint spray, inhaling perfumes, fumes, all the things, this welding fumes, and swallowing, drinking of different contaminated things or dusty hands, etc. So these are the different way you can expose yourself leads. So these are the different safety PPEs, which is mostly apron and safety shoes, and then proper tag out, log out, and use of washing machine after coming from your workplace. Every day you have to wash your clothes cleanly. Work practices that reduce risk exposures. They are mostly do not remove dust by blowing down, shaking your clothes. Take shower, wash hands, face, all these things when it was required. What are some other way to practice? Then do not sweep or blown any dust coming lead. That is when it is water gardening, sanding, then also containing lead. So avoid whatever you should contaminated with lead. So just then next chemical is silica. Silica is just called sand or sand particle, dust particles, or the mud particles may call. So silica is found. This is a quartz particle found in mostly rock, soil, all these bricks. So this is common things. All should be exposures to the silica, but there is no limit. Means if you are exposure more dusty area, then obviously the persons which is exposure dusty is having ill fall ill, and unsafe conditions they can be injured for a long term. So mostly dust affects the lungs because we are inhale the dust or the silica through our lungs. So firstly the silicosis or the lung cancers or fibrosis maybe takes place. This is damage the lung fast, and asthma type of things is happening for the people who are exposing the long time of dust particles or silica. Do not dry sweep using compost air share, because whenever you are sweeping dryly, dust is blown. So in order to avoid this, just sprinkle water. Next is biological hazards. So these are already whatever discussed, they are called physical hazards. Then come to biological hazards. Biological hazards means if you are working in some different kinds of bacteria, viruses, or any bloods or hospitals bloods and body fluids, they are contaminated with bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites, rodents, and all the things, insects. So if you are come contact with this also, we are having chance to infect these things. Like in last 2020 you have seen the COVID-19, which is most dangerous biological hazards. So all people should maintain 2 feet distance using proper PPEs, that is gloves or face masks, all the things. So these should be different kinds of rules, regulations, and different things that can be obeyed in order to avoid these kinds of biological hazards. So blood-borne pathogens, that is due to the all human blood body fluid infected with these different bacteria, viruses. So some are bacterial infections, some are viral infections. So bacterial infections are tuberculosis or streptococci or the dysentery, or viral infections like hepatitis B, C, and that is corona, that is the virus infections. Then blood-borne pathogen are different. You should having some standards to handle this, because every hospitals or some industry they are handling this kind of situations. So develop a exposure plan. So how much you have the people who are working in this area, they are exposure with these pathogens. You have to make a chart for that. Review the plan annually. Audit the safe SARS use. That means if you are using some cord, knife, or some different instrument to handling these things, so properly sanitize, that is autoclaving things are should be used. Then provide training, it is very much important. Unknown people should not avoid to go to that places, and training should be given monthly, six bi-monthly or annually by updating all the things. Different vaccinations, we are taking vaccines for like coronavirus, hepatitis B virus, we are taking vaccines. If you are vaccinated, then the vaccines, the viruses, bacteria should not affect you. So before going to work at their places, you should get vaccinated. So control employee exposures. If do not unnecessary, you should not visit hospitals or visit this kind of unhealthy situations or people. So that can also avoid these things. Provide PPE, use of face mask, gloves, these are PPEs, we have to use all these things. Respond exposure incidents, if someone is having affected by some person, some diseases, immediately report these to your supervisors or the medical doctors teams. Do not be shy to tell whether it is infected or not. So keep medical records. So always having some keep records, who is the date of entry, the date of exit, all these things. Then return exposure control plan. So exposure determination, the tax having written exposure. So different controls of PPEs, all the things we already discussed. So taking some vaccinated things, hepatitis B, coronavirus vaccines are available, ready available. So if vaccine is available, all people should be work before working. They are vaccinated will be better. Lastly, personal protective equipment, you have to wear gloves whenever necessary. So when to wear gloves, you have to hand contact with the blood, all the things. So you are always gloves. You should draw insect, all the things, handle different touches, different things. Remove gloves after working these things. So you have to wear these gloves, sparsening the skin. So skin like lab coat, gown, apron, scrubs are also used for the PPEs. Surgical cap, see in medicine, doctors they are using some head type of things that called cap, that called surgical cap. Shoes cover with boot. Then eyes, faces shield, this will be used. Eye shield, face shield, in order to avoid the protections of the use face mask to protect the flashes and spray of all the things. So see, these are the different PP, personal protective equipment, before handling this kind of situations. Use respirators. Respirators are a high versions or broad versions of these face masks. They are having costly and they are filter this biological activity also. Face masks only filter the dust, but the respirator filters all, even those bacteria, viruses, all the things. So the respirator should be used wherever you are working in. Some people are working in this kind of situations. Employee using respirator must be trained how to use respirators. These are also should be trained by the employee. Tight fitting respirators is very much necessary. So how to use respirators, how to use all the things without face mask. Respirator is face mask. So without face mask, you should not visit the patient like that. So this kind of face mask, air purifying respirators are there, full face mask is there. So according to the exposures, you have to use or choose different kinds of these face masks or all safety PPEs. Then type of different respirators, you should not go to this. Then use good ventilations. So proper ventilations is used by the closed room to avoid all kind of contaminations. So ventilations is very much necessary. So this is all about the physical hazards, the chemical hazards, and biological hazards. The three kinds of hazards, how you can handle all these things. So this is up to this, we are covering these physical hazards. Then come to next things, which is the uh, sorry, this is the physical safety. Then come to next our safety, that is called mental safety or mental well-being. So our body is physics, physical things, but our thinking, our mind, that is a mental thing. If you think, if you are being upset by someone, at that time you should not focus in your work, should not focus in your study. Even if you are good, fit out from outside, but if you are mentally depressed or mentally weak, then you have not having enough capacity to handle their situations. So being physical fit, mentally fit is also very much necessary in order to be safe. If you are unkindly working with or just stare in. I have seen many of the students, they are using their cellular phone and just working or climbing the stair. So at that place, if you are not aware which step you are going to put, someone is coming, and because you are busy in these cellular phones, and what happen, you may get fell down from the stair or may have accident or with someone others. So these kinds of things, that is also effect by your mental situations, what you think at that place while you are working, while you are working some place, where while you are studying. Being fit in mental level is also very much necessary. So let's start with mental health at your workplace. How to what is the impact of this health in your workplace, mental health? So mental well-being, mental health is very much necessary. We already discussed these things. So what is mental well-being or well-being? Well-being is the more the absence of the mental health, or include feelings, values, having security, positive relationship, work-life balance, or interest. So not only this proper things or just presence of mind, but also it includes so many variety of things, that is consisting of calling the mental health, positive mental health, which may be value or feeling valued, or having positivity in you, with you, having good response, having you have a good relationship with your others, colleagues, your others workmates or other friends, that is also a having positive impact. If you are having some negative relationship, then the at that same workplace you are working and both friends are having some quarrels and having negative relationship, we have do not, then at that place is also you do not focus on your work. So all these things are very much necessary. Work life balance, we are working in a industry or in a everywhere for morning to 9 to evening 5. So there are 8 hour of work is there, and rather this 8 hour we are also giving time for our family, for our father mother or our different personal time also there. So if you do not balance the workload or your with your family life, family situation, then also you get disturbed. So many peoples are also disturbed by not balancing this kind of thing. So work life balance is very much necessary. And interest, we are, some people are working in a different level for getting paid. This is not a good thing. If you are working somewhere for just for money, this is not creating a positive effect. If you do not having interest on that work, then you cannot go positively and cannot do the work with your full efficiency, and the work may be not good if you are not having interest on that work. If someone is telling you just read down and forced to read these things, so you go do not having some interest on it, so you just read it but you do not feel these things. So like that, interest on the work is very much necessary. Along with this, measure as a sense of the fulfillment of the our lives. So these things, what are these things? Positive mental health, positive relationship, having securities, work life balance, interest. These are the factors which kept our mind free to work and with full efficiency to work. If you having some having feeling insecurities, then you cannot do the work properly. If you are feeling having a negative relationship, then also impact your work. So these are the things. Let's start with this. Mental ill health. What is mental ill health? Mental ill health consisting of feelings, experience, behavior changes to extreme. So these are the different signs. What are signs? Sleep appetite, energy levels, frequency, intensity, duration of stress dysfunction, like this. If you are not feeling good, and if you are having bad experiences with some things, if you are, for example, I just as an example, if you are ordering some food with some particular restaurant with Zomato, and it is not good, and your next time you should not be order the food from that restaurant, or should not go for that restaurant. That means your experience is bad. If your experience is bad, then even if someone is giving or working at that places, so it is not good for that. Then behavior, if you do not behave properly, for example, some two people are having some disturbance or disputes, so they should not behave properly, some miscommunications may be there, so the work which is not actively done for that persons, and change to extremes, we also change our mind to extreme conditions, that is not good. So all the things or good mental health is a result of this sleep appetite. Last day, last night, you are watching three, four, four movies at the full night, and next day if you are going for classes, then obviously you cannot concentrate on your study because you are last night you are not slept well. So these also affect your mental. Physically, you are good, fit, you are strong, but due to the lack of sleep in last night, tomorrow you cannot focus in your study. So this is the different physical sign. You feel sleepy, your energy level down. If you are feeling hungry, then also you cannot concentrate your study or in your work. So good food, high energy level is required to do all the things. Then frequency, intensity, how much times you are feeling good, how much time you are feeling depressed, all the things are also very much required whenever you are sitting, uh, working in the places. So this is the somehow in COVID time what happens, we are suddenly kept ourselves or lock down came from only 3 months to 4 months, we are not going outside. So in that condition most of the people are feeling bored in their home and not getting good vibe. So these are also having decrease the efficiency of these mental things. So a mentally healthy workplace, so these are the different signs if the workplace is good for this. Manager have excellent people skill. If your supervisor, if your teacher, a mentor, which is your immediate supervisors, managers, they response you good, they are feeling you good, they motivate you good, then what happen, you have to work, you have to read more and more. So this is the things. So how your supervisors, your managers, they behaves, how, what is the skill, motivation skill. Somehow we are watching some motivational reels like this different Kumar Sonu, whatever may be the things, Sonu Sharma and this Vivek Bindra. Why we are seeing this motivational story, because they are having good managers and good people skill they are having. So by watching these things, by we are motivated ourselves to focus in our work. Staff feel valued and involved. If in your all department you are working or if you are studying, if someone is get neglected and someone is getting high valued, then also the neglected person should be getting bored or having not interesting showing interest to doing that work. So all staff, all peoples are equally valued should be very much necessary for the healthy workplace. If someone is getting 5,000 salary and someone is getting 10,000 salary for the same places, same job, then the persons who are getting 5,000 salary, who they said that why I am doing that work, because another go and tell the other persons he is getting high salary, so I cannot do that work. Even if he knows that work, he cannot, the things or that conditions is, a proper workplace should be maintained. So this kind of situation occurs. Then attendance captures prompt. So this is also very much required. Good attendance culture means if you have some meeting is there, if some classes is going on. So if you are properly attend this meeting, properly listening the classes, then you should not miss any kinds of informations available from the your seniors or managers. If some managers, some seniors or your class teacher is telling something, and if you are busy with other things, not listening to them, so obviously your level or your efficiency doing the work is getting down. So this is should be avoided. Flexible, well designed job. So some kinds of job are performing or we are doing the job due to only for money. So that is not the things. The job should be flexible and well designed, good for the perform. So it also motivate the employee and keep the positive mental health is very much necessary. Then common health problems managed, means somehow if there is a if you are 10 people are working for the same places and someone is getting just headache, then for simply headache you should not go for a leave 1 or 2 days. If he is manage these things at that time, this is very good, or it can increase the efficiency. Promotion of open culture which staff feel to be discussed the problem, means all the staff should be open with the managers. So every no manager should be very strict, or should not be any discrepancy, no hidden things between the employee and employers. So this should be increase the positive mental attitude and increase the efficiency of the work. This is the process of how the workplace is giving high positive work things. That is first requirement. Requirement means someone is going to recruit the job. You have to going for the interview and check whether it is good or bad for the job. That is the requirement. First they do the skill test. After skill test, the person is going for the medical test, fit, whether it is physically fit or not. Then if he is pass both skill test and medical test, then she will be recruited for the company or for the job, perform to the job. So after getting the job offer letter, the person who is now fully fit both mentally and physically for the job. The next thing is just come to the workplace. The person is coming to the workplaces, but their workplaces is new for them. They having no experience for that. So at that time, the employee or the organization, they have to introduce all necessary documents, all necessary rules, regulations, and having some giving some training, giving some assessment, health, providing all health, safety, all taxes, all rules, regulations to the person, because it is a new recruitment takes place. Then at that point, that people, other person that is having known all the things, the next phase is the distress. So after repeating using, after repeating things doing and doing, the peoples or the employees having getting less salary, there are so many things, having salary is less, the conflict with other colleagues, and conflict with the managers, this may distress, or having problem with their family members, having late night sleeps, or child having child problem, anything whatever may be, the work is not efficient. So at that point it is called distress point. Then off sick. Then next is what's happened, if someone is distressed, or if someone is having fall mentally sick, the next is called off sick. So what is that? Just return to the work, listen some motivational speech, listen your work with your other colleagues, your managers, the good things, yeah, take a 2 3 day leaves, go for vacations, and recharge yourself for the job, to get good for better performance. For example, if you are continuously reading 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, it is not possible. In between there is breaks is there, some uh, uh, break is very much necessary, because this is recharge you both physically and mentally. Then again return to work after recharging, after having some leave, some refreshment or something, again come to the work with full mode of energy, and again this working cycle continues. This is the mostly for the workers in a working industries, for this good mental balances, work life balances. Then employees are allowed to ask about health. Obviously employee can ask your health questionnaires after job made from this anonymous. This is a different safety concerns, because in particularly in different institutes or something, they are regularly checking of their what performance, as well as the health conditions, mental conditions, or the different tasks is going day by day. Then when are employees not allowed to ask? When not allowed to ask? On job applications, unless the role fit to the employees. An interview discuss health but not direct questions. If you are going for a interview, and the interview for a chemical factory, if you are having some post as a chemist in a particular pharmaceutical company, and if you are going in for applying interview, at that time all employees should not be tell everything to you, that if you are working in this industry, then you may got feel, because obviously the chemical factory you are exposed to the chemicals, and if you are having some risks at that place, working at that place, so indirectly you have to gather on information and take precautions for these things. What might we notice? That means how we can increase this mental well-being or mental physically fit. So what should we notice? So if there are different behaviors or different kinds of things, even someone is not telling you, you have just noticed these things. If for example, if you are uh, notice that your friend is not talking to you with your good mood, obviously you notice some is perhaps someone is going in his mind, or something is happened. So like that, in a employees, in a workers, or in a workplace, if some changes may be seen, then there should be a consider that this is persons or this employee having fall in mental sick. These are feelings, thoughts, behaviors. These are should be usual. If it is unusual, then you think that the person is passing through this mental weakness. For example, tearful. If someone is having just tearness with his eyes, water coming from eyes, even that is, if someone is scold you, or if someone is not giving permissions to something, then what happens? It just tear is coming in your eyes. So this is a sign for you feeling the mentally weak. Then more stress than usual. If you are feeling more stress, having more lots of work to do, then obviously quite withdrawn, usually talkative. These are the different signs, symbols. Being late. If someone is being late to coming the work, and stay back. If you are not, after coming to the work, your manager or is saying that if you do not finish the work, you should not go to your home till even 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. काम खत्म करो फिर घर जाना. So this is the, for that the persons mostly stay back after the time. Mostly these things happen in these IT sectors, the software sectors. Physical challenges due to over order eating. If, due to some things, if you are hungry or you may be overeating, so things should be not clear, that you also having some problem with your mental health. Screen break, skin breakouts. These are also, if someone is having some physical things related, then also mentally he can get disturbed. If some rashes is there in your body, and you should not be focused in the study or in your work, like these things. Rashes, hives, dark circles under the eyes. See, if someone seeing high dark circle under the eye, that means you know he is the sign for he is having under stress. In high much stress is there for these persons, you know, just know this is a sign. An increase in unexpected absence of sick leave. Someone is taking very sick leave frequently, falling sick or having sick, applying for sick leave. So you just know this is the having the people is having mentally fall or mentally sick. Poor performance. If exam in your cases, what happen? If you are do not perform good, even if you are studying, that means you do not focus in exam. What happen? That is the reason for you have some other problem. There might be financial problem, maybe the family problem, anything. So in the workplace also same kind of things happens. So poor performance in the working things. Poor timekeeping. If time management also the person having mentally feel sick, they do not manage time properly. Poor decision making. If you are having distress, or if you are having thinking different things, or having in pressures, then you should not, you cannot take some proper decision. No energy, feeling very much tired, lazy, all these things. No communication for different communications. Someone is do not talk, even also less communication, someone is getting quit type of things. So these are the signs. If you notice this kind of signs, then you think that this is the signs of the mentally weak or mentally sickness. So if this sign you have seen this kind of signs, then what we have to do, that we will study in our next classes. So up to this, if you have any doubts, any things, you can clarify. These are very much important questions for your uh, after passing out these university exams, if you are working somewhere, then this should be give training, proper training, and before knowing all the things, you if you are applying for a job interview and you know all the things, that is better for all of you. So today up to this, if you have any questions, then you can ask. Let me mark your attendance. Okay, if you do not have any questions, then you can leave.